I'm Christy Lynn, and today I'm going to talk to you about how you can do easy page turns when you're playing the harp. So as I've been putting out some longer arrangements, people have been asking me, Christy Lynn, how can I turn the pages and not have to stop my playing while I'm turning? And they say, people just want to tell me to memorize the piece, but that's not helpful because I'm not good at memorizing. I want to know a solution that works for me. So I'm going to walk you through some ideas that have really helped me with doing fast page turns when I'm not memorizing a piece, and hopefully some thoughts will be helpful for you. And you can also put some further questions down in the comments. If you have any extra advice that I haven't mentioned, please put it down there to help others. And I'm going to show you another camera angle, which you can see right now. Here's my hand, and you can see my music stand, and I'm going to actually walk you through what exactly it looks like as I'm doing page turns and how I go about doing that. So the main ideas are to use a presentation book. I'll explain a bit about that. I'm going to show you how to make sure that you have, you can turn as quickly as possible, how to do that. Then I'm going to help you know where to decide where to turn. How do you decide which is a good place to turn? And then also I'm going to mention about how you can simplify or leave out a few notes. Also you can print and cut and paste bits of a page to help you with turning in the right place. And then the last resort is going to be getting a music stand extender so you can really spread out the pages and see more of them at a time. So I'm going to walk you through that and talk you through each of those. So let's get into it. So the first thing I wanted to show you is this presentation book. In South Africa, we call it a flip file, but I looked it up on Amazon and I found something similar, and it was called a presentation book. So it just has a nice cover on the outside. It's not too thick. You can put lots of pages inside these sheet protectors or plastic sleeves, that's what we call them. And then you can easily keep things organized in different binders, but you can actually slip those pages inside, and it's not like a big file. It doesn't take up that much space. So that's been really useful for me. And then once I've got my music inside the presentation book, inside those plastic sleeves, when I want to do a page turn in a piece, I actually bend up the page like that. You can do this in books as well, but when it's a book I always feel bad, but when it's just a page I've printed out, it feels fine. So I just bend the corner up like that. I guess you could do it at the top, but I like to do it at the bottom. And then that helps you to be able to just grab onto that and turn really quickly. So I'm able to really turn my pages very quickly. I'm busy playing, and then the next thing I'm playing the next page. So that's really helped me. By the way, if you're wondering, this is just a music desk a harp desk from Music Makers. It's a nice music stand, just enough I've got the one that's for 2 pages like that. The next thing is to decide when is the perfect spot to turn a page. When you're printing out sheet music, then you can actually choose what order to put them in so that you can turn at a moment that's convenient. So I'm going to show you with my arrangement of Somewhere Over the Rainbow here. So the way that I've put it in my file, I have the first page just there, and then as you turn over, then the second and third page, it's 3 pages long, and the second and third page are next to each other like that. And as I was looking for an example for you, I realized this is not actually the best way for page turns. So the way you want to work out when to turn your page is, when is your left hand having a bit of a break and your right hand can keep on playing while your left hand turns. Because with your harp, you're going to really struggle to get your hand around like that to go and turn with your right hand. So page turns are always going to be with your left hand with the harp, and that means you have to look at a moment when the left hand is resting. So if we have a look in this piece, you can see that this is an okay place to turn. I can, if I have my little page turned up here, I can probably get there on time. Let's just check. I've spent a lot of time practicing doing quick page turns. That's fine for me. But maybe you would need a little bit more time. And actually, if I had put the pages in a different order, I would have had more time. So you can see at the end of the second page, the right hand is doing all of this. I wanted to say all of this nonsense. Then the left hand is free. So I could have actually rather put pages 1 and 2 next to each other. Let me show you how this will look. So page 1 and 2 next to each other, and then I could put page 3 behind there. I'm just going to leave it where it is for now. And then while this right hand is playing, I could turn over the page and this would be over there. So it would be much easier. Let me show you what that looks like. So that was much easier. I had plenty of time for my left hand to turn the page there. It does mean that you have to memorize maybe just the last few notes, because you could see I turned over actually while my right hand was still playing the last 4 notes of that piece, of that measure, and I had to know how my right hand needed to place so that it was ready to play that next note. So you might want to know the first note of the next page and the last 4 notes of that previous page, so that you don't have to read every single note as you're turning. But that should be fine. That's a good place to turn a page. Another thing you can do, and sometimes you can leave out 1 or 2 notes in the left hand so that you have time to turn the page, and that is a totally legitimate thing to do. Or if it works in the music, you can even slightly slow down and make it sound like it's on purpose. That works really well in this arrangement of Hallelujah for late beginner harp that I made. So at the end of this page, it's just kind of the intro to the second verse. We're doing this. And then as we turn the page, it's starting the next verse. So to give yourself time to do that page turn, what you could do is just slow down at the end here and do a dramatic pause and make it seem like it's just because of the music, but actually it's giving you time for a page turn. So it would sound like this. But that's only going to work if it works musically in the piece and it sounds good. In this particular piece, that works really well. So you don't even need to do anything else. You just have a dramatic pause and it's going to sound like it's on purpose. Another thing I wanted to show you with this arrangement of Hallelujah is that you can also sometimes reprint one of the pages, cut out a piece and stick it on so that you can kind of change when you do the page turn. Let me show you what I mean. So you might have been wondering what these little dots are. That's press stick or blue tack, or I don't know what you guys call it. But I printed out the second page again, and I cut off the last line. And what I want to do is I'm going to stick it at the top over there. And what this allows me to do is I can now turn the page at the end of this line or any time during this line, and I turn it, and that last line of page 2 is going to be stuck up there at the top of page 3, and so I don't have to memorize as much, because sometimes you want to turn the page just like maybe 1 line earlier than the end of the page, and you don't want to memorize a whole line, so then you can just stick it on like that. So let me show you how that would work. So I would be doing this, and maybe I want to turn here, and then I've still got the rest of that line at the top of page 3, and I can carry on happily. And the last tip I want to show you is when there's a piece where it's really hard to do a page turn at all, or maybe you just don't want to be turning pages, maybe you have a problem with your arm, or in my case, when I'm recording audio for a video, I don't want to have the sound of a page turn. Then what you can do is you can actually make it so that you can see all the pages, and you can see them all at once. So what I do, which is like the budget version, is I just take the page out. In this case, this piece has only 3 pages, so it's not too bad. I normally take that first page out, and I just use my press stick or blue tack or whatever it is, and I just stick it like on my mic stand or underneath the music stand, but that's not really a good long-term solution. So what I would suggest for you is something called music stand extender, and I found an option for you where you can purchase it online, and there's also a video where you can find out how to make one for yourself. So I'll put the link down in the description box. But basically what that does is it's a piece of plastic that can fold up, but can also make your music stand longer, so that you can have, in this case, it would be all 3 pages side by side. but you can do 4 pages, 6 pages. I would say with the harp, I wouldn't really go for more than 3, maybe 4 pages. You might want to then rather extend it higher, and like maybe if you have more than 3 pages, you would just want it wide and high, because with the harp you really you can't extend it to the right, and so you don't want to go too far off your midline, start turning too much, because you're going to hurt your neck and it will affect your technique. But a music stand extender is just a good thing to know about. I would kind of think of it as a last resort. It's not it's not so good for you to have maybe like 6 pages to the left, but at least you now know that there's the option. So I'll put a link down below for you to check that out. Do you have any other questions about page turns, or any struggles with it, or advice for other people? If you found something that works, make sure you put that down in the comments. Let me know if you have any other troubles you want me to help you with, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!